You're listening to the Happy Hour Todcast presented by GoodCleanFunLife.com. Find us on iTunes by searching GCFL and subscribe today.
Hi, I'm Todd from GoodCleanFunLife.com.
And I'm Tony Rousseau, no relation. And welcome back to us. Took a week off, but we're back, and we'll be back probably every Tuesday-ish, probably every noon-ish every Tuesday. Here together at the Crowbar until it gets too cold, then someplace else.
And then we'll put up plastic.
That's
actually my plan. I know it's probably not going to work very well, but...
No, it'll work fine for me. I do that. I actually, the first house I lived in Union Beach, we had so many, the house was so small and we had so many people that we ended up having to move out onto the front porch, which was just, it just had it had windows, but the windows were just the storm. No.
Oh, okay.
Just the ones that go
in front. They're like triple pane, or
right? Anything. And so that's what we did. We covered the whole thing in that thick plastic. And
yep.
I mean, I'm not going to say it wasn't cold. It was cold, but it was also bearable. And I've got a really high. Look at me. I got a really high tolerance for the cold. Lots of fun stuff for you today. We're going to start in a different way that I had intended on starting when I started this sentence, because I remembered that I brought something that I wanted to show you.
Oh, really?
Yes, I'm wearing my writer's cuffs today.
Nice.
And I didn't even think of it, and then I was driving along, and in case you missed it, Todd and I had this conversation a couple weeks ago. A lot of people don't wear cufflinks because they're not functional. Like, they get in the way. But I have a small cufflink collection, and I like to wear them. So what I did was, instead of pinching to wear them, I fold the one sleeve under the other. And
you're convinced that you didn't create it, but you coined the phrase. It's the writer's cuff.
I'm pretty sure. I would love to see someone else produce. I mean, it's not a challenge. I don't care who said it. I just know that I'm one of the people who said it. I call this the writer's cuff because since I write for a living, I used to not be able to wear them because they hang down, and now they don't hang down, and I can write. I still have to take my rings off. So these are called, I guess, writer's hands, right? When you have to take the rings off.
Similar to jazz hands.
Jazz hands, but tappier. All sorts of fun stuff this week. We're going to take a little bit, not a complete left turn, but more like we're going to bear left a little bit, because we're going to talk a little bit more about content marketing during our show, as it relates mostly to us, because I'm self-involved and I can't talk about someone who's not me for very long. But in my new job as editor of OceanCity.com, one of the things I'm responsible for is what today is called content marketing, and that's a fair name. I'm not going to say it's not a fair name, but I was thinking we wanted to have this conversation anyway this morning. I don't refer to myself as a blogger yet.
Yeah.
And I still refer to myself as a reporter or a writer.
Yeah.
And I think the reason is, and I want to lay this on you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. The difference between a reporter / writer and a blogger is I have to go places to get my story.
Right.
You blog about stuff you see on the internet.
Okay.
You
all right.
hear on a podcast. Blogging tends to be very echo chambery, very like we.
Right.
But journalism is like, there's something happening out there. I'm going to go find out what it is, and now I'm going to tell you about it in print or on video.
Yeah.
And so I think I don't see myself ever embracing the blogger moniker.
No, I think that's a fair assessment. I think you're a professional.
Yeah. There are professional bloggers like not Paris Hilton, the guy. Perez Hilton, he is a professional blogger.
Yes.
He makes a lot more than I do.
Right.
He has more cachet, certainly not more credibility, because he's a gossip. I mean, like...
Yeah, he writes about celebrities.
Right, so gossip columnist doesn't have... But he is a blogger. He doesn't really go out a lot and get a lot of stories.
Yes.
So
my thing is, where do I fall in that spectrum? Because I'm not a professional.
Yeah, but no, you are. You're more of a.
I don't act professional.
You're a photojournalist. If professional writer doesn't make you comfortable,
yes,
I think you got to say photojournalist or documentarian. Same thing.
Documentarian.
You go out and get stuff.
Yes, and I don't like the moniker of blogger. I think it has a negative connotation, like the Perez Hilton is probably a good example of somebody, love or hate. But it's also, with what we're doing, and one of the reasons we're talking about making this a little bit of a switch and talking more about content, because it's very much what we're passionate about, what we do, and that sort of thing. And, it happens every day. that the story's coming along, or somebody's talking about something, or a client is talking about just marketing in general, and it's my strongly held belief that content is what makes marketing. So the whole content marketing is still kind of like I don't know, kind of a trendy word.
Right. I don't have. I would hate to be referred to as a content creator. I mean, it's what do I do? I wouldn't challenge you if you said that I was a content creator, but I think that diminishes it a little bit, because I think content creators, here you go.
Yeah.
A content creator includes bloggers and journalists.
Okay.
Right? And again, I'm not shitting on bloggers. Bloggers are fine, and there are lots of bloggers who do a lot of good job. I blog. I do a beer blog where I don't go anywhere. I write what I think. That's fine, right? And a blogger in that case is something below an essayist. An essayist has to do a lot of research and get something like long and thought-provoking published.
Sure.
Whereas a blogger is like, you know what? This is what happened. This is what I think of it. This is why I think you should agree with me.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's just different from journalism. It's more editorial.
Okay, so I'm drawing a line right now.
Okay.
Well, we've established that I am an impresario.
Right.
Which I just
I know. I love that you love the word. you heard that word and you're like, that is my word from now on. And it's not you, just like I reminded you that that's what you were.
Yeah.
And now I'm loving to see you embrace it.
I'm embracing that, and I've long called myself a content creator because that's what we do. But I think you're right, and that includes too many things like bloggers or sites that just aggregate content.
Exactly.
And we don't aggregate content; we create
Yeah.
original content, and that's one of our big pushes: quality, fresh quality stuff on a regular basis, and we do it in maybe not the highest brow
How about
stuff.
a micro documentary?
I'm going to call myself a documentarian.
I have no problem.
Actually,
with that.
I do call myself a storyteller.
Right, and that's fine as well.
Because I couldn't call myself a journalist because I feel like you have to have some sort of schooling for that.
I don't.
Or I feel like you've had to at least
use
a typewriter at one point. I have a typewriter. But but I want to call myself a journalist. And it's funny too because on the flip side of this, I have a very good friend who lives out in California and has made his career in film editing, and he basically does the same thing that I do now. But I shoot and edit stuff at local bars. He was doing it for Spanish Pepsi commercial or Coca-Cola commercials, and with $1 million budget. Much smaller budget, but still what I'm doing is essentially the same, and I kind of feel bad because am I taking the luster off of what he has done?
You're doing what he's like. There are only so many, and I don't know your friend, and I'm sure he's a nice fellow, but there aren't a lot of Coca-Cola contracts out there. When someone asked me what you guys did, and what I said is, it's as if you're making commercials that no one knows are commercials for not broadcast.
Right. That is exactly what we are doing.
This is the thing. One of the things that I've been hitting really hard on, and we've spoken about this, is not today, not tomorrow. The display. There's still plenty of room for display advertising. Display advertising is going to be very important. Link throughs and things like that are going to be very important for a very long time. But in our lifetime, product placement is going to be the only form of advertising left because there are ad blockers and because there are fast forwards.
Product placement with the
Good Clean Fun Life. Yes. For example, no, but like one of my favorite things. And we're going to be going back to doing audio soon. We have 2 cameras. I go back and forth between them. So we're going to be going to audio pretty soon, and I do audio with 2 other podcasts. I'm probably going to do a 3rd now with my new company. And one of the things that I love about audio is that it's the only place left where you can say a commercial and not have anybody fast forward it to. Now, if you listen to podcasts a lot, which if you're watching this or listening to this, you probably do. People do spots. They do spots at the beginning, in the middle, and you can 15-second through them and I often do 15 second through them. But what you can't 15 second through is this next section is sponsored by GoodCleanFunLife.com. GoodCleanFunLife.com, providing your content when you need it, the way you like it. Why would you bother following? Why would you bother skipping through that? It's easier just to hear it.
Right.
And if I say it often enough,
yeah,
it's valuable, especially if my reach is
and
what it is.
We talked about this, and it's even enjoyable when what's the guy Joe? You're talking about a podcast. Who's the UFC guy?
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan, and mentioning stuff and like actually talking about.
And you don't want to miss it
because he says something unique and funny, or
Right. Well, my example was Bill Burr.
Okay.
Because Joe Rogan's podcast is like 2 hours long.
Is it really?
He gets
short attention span.
He's kind of a stoner, and
yeah.
He has guests on. They do like a morning radio show type of thing.
Okay.
Which there is plenty of room for. Again, it's not maybe an hour. I feel like an hour is more than I have the right to ask of anybody.
Right.
I'd rather do 4-hour-long podcasts during the week than 1 4-hour podcast.
That makes sense.
Pick what you like. But yeah, the idea of like I'm going to talk about this and it's going to be fun and you don't want to miss what I'm saying because I'm not just saying buy this. So, for example, you guys work with the Starboard, right?
Yes.
We talk about the Starboard a lot. They're not paying us, but we wouldn't see. I'm sorry. Also, it's kind of a journalism thing. Even if they were paying us, I probably wouldn't say very many things different about the Starboard.
Right.
Because, it's in Bethany Beach. It looks like a nice enough place.
It's in Dewey, but
it's in Dewey Beach. It looks like So I'm writing a book about Delaware beer. I keep calling
Bethany Dewey.
I keep calling Dewey Beer Company the Bethany Brewing Company.
Oh wow.
It's only a matter of time before that finds its way into print, and I get more nasty letters from people. The point is that when you're talking about something that's cool, or one of the things that I'm looking into at OceanCity.com is more play stuff. So if there's a hotel that is one of our advertisers, then you just interview someone at the hotel.
Yeah.
And you tell a great story about what's going on with this person, and you tell it in the hotel. So and so is enjoying her time in Ocean City. She's doing this, she's doing that, she's doing the other thing. It would be more interesting. There would be adjectives. And and they're at the Dunes Motel or the Dunes Hotel or the Clarion, or I don't even know, the Holiday Inn, whoever. I also have to be careful. I don't know which are our sponsors or not, but this is
this is where you can exercise that.
This is where you get to practice
without any.
But the point is that is going to be more and more valuable, and very few people are doing it. Very few people have the.
And even fewer are doing it well.
Yes. And even fewer are doing it here. I think it's really us doing it well, and here it's us.
I think it's us.
Yeah.
But it's funny. So a couple things. Talking about product placement. There's an article on Instagram that I wanted to talk to. We also talked about what you're doing, and I have this, the whole thing about the importance of not going viral. It falls into this whole conversation. But even before that, talking about the product placement, and it's just a much better way to engage people and have people appreciate it, because then you're developing the personality of a brand. Like you're talking about doing a story,
right?
You're helping that brand develop a personality, and the best way to develop the personality is through the individuals and telling the stories of those individuals.
Absolutely.
And so brand placement even somehow boils down to the individual person.
Right, and this is the part where I plug my new series on OceanCity.com. It's called Ocean City Stories. It's stories of people in Ocean City. I just did my second one. They're really good, and that's kind of what I'm doing. But I'm not.
I'm really excited that you're doing this.
I had to clarify to my boss yesterday when she was asking me how I literally could know nothing about Ocean City. Having worked here for 10 years.
It's like a fresh slate.
And that's what I said. I said, all right,
perspective.
Frankly, when I was at the Bayside Gazette, I kind of made my name as the don't bother with Ocean City, Berlin's cooler guy.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I'm like, but we're working. And she's like, we're changing that. I'm like, absolutely, we're changing that. Had lunch at the 45th Street Tap House yesterday.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, and it was very nice. They have a black bean burger. The black bean quinoa burger, which is something that I thought I invented.
Right.
I didn't.
You did it?
No.
Apparently not. Maybe not the writer's cuss.
Who'd have thunk that crunchy granola stuff was not just in my household.
So minute 17 brought to you by the 45th Street Tap House.
And it really is things like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's great.
Right, and so I'm sorry. So let's talk about the Instagram.
So it kind of touches on a personal note because I have a daughter. You have a daughter. They're under 18. Nellie's
Mine's 14.
Mine's 14. But then we have a younger cousin who is only 11 at this point, and talking about Instagram. And so I'm going to talk about it in the context of this story that I saw. But before I say that, the question is when is it acceptable for people to be on social media? And then how do you parent a child who's on social media? The story is about an Australian model on Instagram. So you talk about product placement. So a lot of these young girls are getting paid money, sent clothes, bathing suits, whatever, and they take a casual picture in it, and they're paid to have that picture posted
Right.
because they have 15,000 followers, no, millions of followers in some cases.
Right.
Well, so this girl started when she was like 13, some more not racy, but bikini shots,
Right.
and sexy stuff.
Right.
And now she's 18, and she's gone back and she's edited all of her posts, basically saying, be careful, social media is a lie. I had my sister take this same picture 14 times until I was angry with her, and my stomach looked perfectly flat, and that was the one I posted, or I'm wearing this dress that I would never wear in real life because it was sent to me and it makes me look grown up, and I was only 13 when this picture was taken. Social media is a lie. So it's very interesting. She's getting a lot of attention over this, maybe even more so, which raises some of the other questions.
Yeah, and what's interesting to me about it is, I don't think anyone does it. I mean, one of the reasons that we have trouble with newspapers and is that no one believes anything anymore.
Well, see, that's kind of how I feel. I feel that, anytime you see anybody, there's a hidden message in everything now, and people are more skeptical about it. And then we even have, the other extreme where people like to get outraged over it.
Right, but if you're a 13-year-old girl from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and you have 4.3 million Instagram followers, some of those have to be bought, right? Those aren't organic,
right?
Yeah. And you only wear, I don't know, Jordache jeans, because I'm going to show you how old I am, right? And so you're wearing a lot of Jordache, and you have 4.3 million followers. It's probably, it's got to smell weird to you, as a consumer.
Yeah.
And
so is it wrong to have somebody who is consenting to getting paid to take pictures with a product, whether it's a dude holding a football or...
No, I think one of the things, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Let's be clear.
Because, yeah.
I don't like it for... I don't like the exploitive, but I don't like the exploitive nature of regular magazine articles.
Right.
Only because none of these kids, it's rare that these kids turn out well.
Yeah.
I've met plenty of girls who, I did baby modeling when I was a kid, or I was in, but by the time you hit 12, if you're still modeling, J.C. Penney's or whatever, it's tough to right yourself from not getting that kind of attention.
Right.
That isn't real. They don't care about you. They don't know you from anybody else. You just know that everyone who has a J.C. Penney's catalog with Jordache jeans in it has seen your face. And so I'm not nuts about teen models.
Yeah. In general. So if you're
going to do it in print, you're going to do it on Instagram.
Well, take the conversation to your daughter, who's 14 and on Instagram, and maybe follows people who are doing this, or sees other people trying to emulate that, that sort of thing. And then, as a parent, what's the age that you get on social media, or allow your kids to get on social media, and then how do you parent as someone in the ever-changing landscape of everything?
Yeah, well, in a complete panic all the time is one way. It's something
red-faced.
Right. My children have always been, because of what I do. They've always been kind of engaged. Allison has I think she's like at Alleygal on Twitter. It's like just
Right.
I signed her up, and she has these accounts, and just like anything else, you have my kids also drink. They don't drink a lot, but Allison is 14, and she tastes every beer I buy. Not every literal beer, but every time I get a new beer, I let her taste it. She can have a little wine.
Right.
She makes my Manhattan. She can taste to see if a Manhattan tastes right. And what it is you develop. It's not episodic. And when you were talking earlier about people get outraged because they live they believe the world is an episodic rather than a cultural place.
Yeah.
And so you develop the culture that you like, and then you still hope for the best. I mean, she's done some really stupid things on social media, and she did them when she was young, and she's 14 now. But she, and they don't get it when they're getting like attention. They're like, oh, these people like me. They probably don't. And fortunate, like nothing bad happened. Nothing bad happened. But she's like, oh, so and so, and I'm like, do you know so and so? And she's like, no. I'm like, remember? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, put it in your head because you're getting older.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was,
And what you're saying about the episodic, it's like the saying that it's not just that one instance of thing. It's the learning. It's the learning over the course of,
Yeah, so talk
years.
about it. I mean, I follow my daughter on Instagram, and I mean, if she wanted to have like a fake account, I know lots of kids get fake accounts so that they can put up stuff that their parents don't see. That's not episodic. That's cultural.
Yeah.
That's like one of the things I always tell my daughters. I told them this before. Before I was on, before there was an internet. I have only had 2 kids that were older than the internet. But one of the things they would say when I was talking about conscience and I was talking about making decisions, I always say to yourself, would I ask my father?
Right.
And if the answer is no, then you probably shouldn't do it. Now you still might want to, but don't kid yourself that you're in the right.
Yes.
If it's something that you wouldn't ask me if you could do.
Right.
And this is pre-sex. I mean, I'm not talking about it. I'm just talking about like, all the kids are going here. Should I go with them? Call me and ask me. If you don't want to call me and ask me because you're lazy, say, well, would I call him if I wasn't being lazy? Or am I not calling him because I think he's going to say no?
Right.
And I'm
And
very
then what
permissive.
are the reasons? Yeah.
And that's what, and I'm like, you will never make me a more permissive parent than I am, right? So as permissive as I am, if they're like, oh, well, I think he probably would say don't go, then it gives them pause and at least makes them pay more attention.
Right.
Same thing with the online presence. It's like, just, if I'm following you, I hardly ever like their things. I forget I have Instagram 70% of the time.
I like it. I don't know if you said it on air or not, but you take them along on assignments, and then it's convenient that they have Instagram because then they can take care of the Instagram that you need to take care of.
They run the Instagram. I think 3 of my 4 daughters have had front page photos printed.
I think that's great.
In publications around the peninsula.
I do think that's great. That's like Nellie is involved in the STEM program through the tech school, and right now is learning Photoshop. And I'm like, I didn't use algebra today. I used Photoshop
all
today,
day, yeah.
and that is my job. So the skill that you're learning is valuable,
Yeah.
and I think that's a good thing. So the product placement, girls, looking for attention,
Right.
likes, and that sort of thing. The
Yeah.
importance of not going viral.
Right.
Something I believe in.
Yes. Well, I think when you say that, and we discussed this off air, it's not like, oh, this looks like it's going to go viral, I better pull it down.
Yes.
But the goal, I mean, I think this is kind of common knowledge, but what we're discovering in talking with various people is that it's not common knowledge. So let us tell you that if the plan is to go viral, I think you're wasting a little bit of energy.
It's flawed.
It's what you want to do is because I can't even think of a viral video. Can you tell me a viral video?
Okay, I'll tell you a story about a video that was made on YouTube by this guy Devin Graham. He has these incredibly fun videos. Music is produced by his friends. He gets all his buddies together, and this video is the guys with soccer or big inflatable balls that they hold up and they can still run around, and they're just smashing into each other. And so he created this whole video, and it was, for all intents and purposes, a viral hit. Now I'm getting into the next thing now, but so this guy makes videos for a living and makes content. He's a content creator.
He's a content creator,
and it's such good imagery, or it's such a good story that people will then steal it from him and put it up as if they were putting it up themselves, in the vein of trying to get that attention, to try to get to do something that's viral.
Right.
And it's cheating.
And it's not only cheating. It's what's the purpose? Now, if you are, it's buying lottery tickets. So trying to produce a viral video is buying a lottery ticket, and you want to know what the purpose is in advance, because if you're going to get 1 million likes, 2 million likes on Facebook, first of all, they're on Facebook. Another problem altogether. But second of all, if the attention isn't from people, if you're not going to capture those people and make them regular visitors to your site, that is the problem. I told Todd when I first got here, I heard my first cat photo experience on the internet. I was down in Ocean City on assignment doing stories, and I posted a picture of a boardwalk cat down in Sunset Park. Do you know the cat?
Yes, I know of the cats on Sunset
Everyone knows the cat. Well, this one cat, maybe there are more.
Oh, okay. No, I'm thinking Somerset.
Yeah, no, you're thinking by Trimpers.
Okay, yeah.
No, there's one cat in Sunset Park. He may belong to the homeless guy there as much as a cat can belong to a homeless guy. He may get fed by the guys in the Coast Guard. Who knows? Point is, I put this cat picture up, and I'm like, hey, I'm at Sunset Park. Check tomorrow for the story. People went crazy over this freaking cat. I mean, of course they did. But it was still like...
Because it's the internet.
Because it's the internet, and the internet was made for cats. But I didn't appreciate how much... It was the first... I've been writing for a decade now. That picture of that cat got more attention than everything I've ever written combined within an hour. I think... I don't know what it is now, but like by the end of the day, it was really up to like 18,000 views or something absurd. 2,200 likes, 700 shares, and it was just a cat. I didn't do anything, and so like if you want to do something viral, then you want to talk about cats and stuff like that. But more importantly, the people who made the real connection were the people who recognized the cat, and then some people started posting their own photos that they had taken of this cat.
That's good engagement.
And there you go, right? And then telling stories about the cat, or going and like yesterday or 2 days ago, someone sent me an email saying, hey, I just want to let you know, I went by, the cat was there, I took a picture, he's happy. And I'm like, okay, now this cat's a rock star.
Yeah.
Right? And now if I were going to do something, if I was going to make an attempt to do something viral, now is the time when I would go and I'd do a film about the cat. But my job isn't to get more people to...
I'm going to go do a film about the cat.
You totally can. Knock yourself out. But my job is to make people appreciate Ocean City. So this might be a good way to do it. But just like putting up a picture of that cat every day doesn't make people fond for Ocean City. It makes people fond for cats.
Right.
So if most of the people who are liking it are cat people,
right,
then I've wasted my time. The people who are like, oh, next time I'm in town, I'm going to go by and see that cat, those are my boss's customers. Those are my customers, such as I have customers.
So and then the next step that becomes even more dangerous is like when I jokingly said I'm going to go make a cat video or make a video of the cat.
Yeah.
Or I'm just going to steal that picture. I'm going to screenshot it. I'm going to put it up on Good Clean Fun.
Right.
And see if I can't get similar traction. Or to take it even one step further, I'm going to write a scathing story about the dangers of feral cats and homeless people living, and then
I'll bet that story's in Ocean City today this week.
But then then it's like the outrage over,
right.
I can't believe this, Tony Russo has shed a light on a deep, dark secret of Sunset Park.
Yes.
And cats and their
secret evil cat of
dirtiness and
Sunset Park. But on a more positive kind of engagement note, A story that got a lot less play came out today, and it got some play. And again, I'm not used to people reading my stuff. I mean, he's read like 4 things I've ever written, so I'm still, I'll admit to still being a little overwhelmed. But I did a story today about a woman who skated from the inlet to Rehoboth Beach for her friend who has breast cancer for the 3rd time. She had like early onset breast cancer when she was 32, and this is her 3rd time, and I don't know how things are going. Get the impression that I don't want to know.
Right.
But so I wrote a story about how she couldn't. She said, "Here's pro tip for writing: just pay attention a little bit." This lady said one quote early on, and I'm like, "Well, that's this. I'll stay on the phone with you as long as you want, but I don't need to know anything else about you." What she said to me was, "You can only give so many hugs," and I wanted to do something else. And I'm like, "Well, now I know what the story is about, right?" And so I wrote this story, and it was a nice story. And I was telling my boss yesterday, she's like, "Is the story up yet?" I'm like, "You know what? I'm gonna put it up tomorrow morning because I want my wife to look at it because it's pretty." I mean, I usually don't say stories, but it's okay, and I don't want to have a comma error ever throw people off. So I sent stuff to my wife, so she looked at it. It was fine. And then today I got hundreds of people who looked at it, but it affected them, and they were like, this is what I like about coming to Ocean City. There's always something cool going on. She put on fishnets, so she skated wearing a cape and fishnet stockings.
Yeah.
So, this is what and so it got people talking about why they liked coming to Ocean City, all of the advantages of coming to Ocean City in the fall.
Right.
And I've written like 3 or 4 stories about the advantages of coming to Ocean City in the fall, and those are the kind of things that are catching on.
Right.
And a viral video would be about, like, if anybody picked up the viral video in the news, it would be about the video that's going viral.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be about how awesome it is to visit Ocean City in the fall.
It wouldn't be about the story.
My job is how awesome it is to visit Ocean City in the fall until it's winter.
Yeah.
Then it's how awesome in the winter, right? Or what great beer we have. And I like doing both of those jobs, so it's not very hard. But I think when you're interested in something going viral, you have to remember, what is your job? What are you trying to do?
Right.
And if you're just trying to get likes, take a picture of a cat, put it on Facebook, brag about all your likes.
Or steal Tony's picture of a cat.
Still, it wasn't the good, like Kelly was with me. My wife is Kelly. She's a good photographer. She got some awesome pictures of the cat. Those didn't go because I didn't put them up. I was just like, hey, here I am. Yeah. And then I felt bad because I couldn't put her great picture as the lead photo.
Yeah.
Because then it looks like I'm sucking up.
Yeah.
So I put a different picture as the lead photo. But sunsets too. People are fucking crazy for sunsets.
Yes. Be prepared. Sunset pictures are coming.
I think that is today Wednesday. Today's Thursday. I think it's today. There's a picture a video I took of a boat coming into the inlet at sunset.
Yeah.
I fully expect a check from the president of the internet tomorrow.
Yeah.
For $1 billion or whatever, because
because you won.
Because I won.
You won the internet.
And it was
a sunset.
And happenstance. Sunset, happenstance, and willing, and this we're gonna bring around full circle, willing to go out and do something rather than just collect things and comment on.
Yes.
I'm out, I'm taking pictures, I'm meeting people. I was at the wine festival, lots of people this weekend. Lots of people were happy to see me, lots of people came and liked the page, and a lot of people read and shared my story, and that conversion is probably what we should be talking about, getting people from the awesome one picture on Facebook to the website, and to read the story or to watch the video,
and to become a fan of your brand, because then they're the one the shares usually the smallest number in the engagement equation, whether it's likes, comments, or shares. The smallest number is the most valuable. You know? So if it's shares, it's people that are.
It is shares, I think.
That are doing your pushing.
And getting people to share things. And this is we have time. One of the things that we talked about a couple weeks ago, and I had the experience with my first internet video earlier this week, is the difference between getting a video on Facebook
Yes.
to perform well and getting a video to perform well.
Right.
Because Facebook is pushing video. If you upload your video directly to Facebook, you're going to get a lot of attention immediately. They're going to force all of your friends, fans, whatever, to watch it. If you put it on YouTube and you put it as a post, then it kind of goes as a regular post that doesn't get promoted very well.
Oh, sure.
And so
I have a lot of thoughts on this.
let's hear them. I think this is worth discussing.
I think that people are once again snowed by Facebook. A couple of things that I've read is that a Facebook view is counted after 3 seconds of automatic play in your news feed. So that's, you're sitting there in the morning scrolling through stuff, and you pause for a second and a video starts playing because it has the automatic play.
Right.
And once 3 seconds ticks by, that counts as a view. You've already moved on, but they've counted it as a view. The difference is on YouTube, they don't count a view until after 30 seconds of watching. So this is somebody who's clicked on it, they've hit the play button, and they're committed to it for at least 30 seconds, and oftentimes after a 5-second commercial at the beginning.
Right.
Much more valuable view. Then we can get into the whole difference between YouTube and Facebook, and the fact that YouTube actually compensates the creators, whereas Facebook sells their own advertising against the creators' work. Robbing the poor and giving to the rich. But yeah, so they're definitely pushing it. The algorithms, if it's put up there on Facebook, it's going to get in more people's feeds. It's going to get in front of more people. No matter how the views are counted or what. My bigger thing right now is that it's just it's just a steady trickle stream. There's no long tail stuff on Facebook. So that's why YouTube is still so important. The example that I give is a video that we created for the Starbird from last summer, running of the bull, with Chariots Fire in the background and all these people running down the beach, is hilarious, and that still gets views, ticking away, quietly and much, at a lesser degree than when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
But you put that same video on Facebook, you'll get that number, whether it's real or not.
Right.
And then it will be gone, and then it's out of the ethos. So
one of the things that I was discussing with my boss yesterday, and again, what are you trying to accomplish? So for me, I want to start doing both. I'll put a snippet up on Facebook, 10 seconds or fewer, and see who sees it. Because for me, it's about, again, I've already sold out to the product placement. Like, that's what I do. I don't have to sell ads. There are people who sell ads, and we support our advertisers and things like that. But for me, it's just about Ocean City, as a vacation destination, and craft beer and Ocean City and the region as a craft beer destination. That's my job. So a little bit to say, hey, this is feel good about sunsets. So lots of sunsets, lots of birds, lots of dogs on Facebook because they're meaningless.
Yeah.
And then getting people to watch the whole video. One of the things that I was thinking of doing I haven't done any long form videos long form. If I do a long form video, it's going to be 4 minutes. It's not going to be an hour.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I was thinking of doing is saying, hey, here's a clip. Check out the story. So post a video with the link to the story and have them go through to the website and see what's going on.
Absolutely, and we take it one step further when we're doing stuff. If we're covering an event, we'll make a 2 to 4 minute video that tells the whole story of the event, and that will go up on YouTube. We'll make a 30-second clip with that has some capture stuff and words at the very beginning, because that autoplay without sound at the very beginning, you can capture attention. That will go on Facebook to try to drive people to that. And then we'll even boil it down and do a 15-second. I make this symbol. That's the international square for Instagram.
Oh, I see.
So we'll compress it even more, make it small, 15 seconds, quick clips, and put that up on Instagram. Check it out here. So that's Twitter, we don't really mess with around here.
Twitter's really just for me when I'm drunk. When I'm feeling drunk and mean, I need Twitter.
And Twitter needs you.
And Twitter needs me. Damn it.
But yeah. So I mean, that's the whole thing. And we've been playing more so with. I hope you've seen my personal memes.
Yes.
I've been doing
I love
this.
that.
And then GIFs too. GIFs or GIFs, however you like to say it. Utilizing that as a popular technology or format is also important for whatever you're doing to market.
Yeah, just and
Create content.
And create content, but bring it back to if it's not good, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I'm way prouder, for instance, of the story that came out today than I am of the fact that I put a cat on the. I added to the cat backlog of there are jokes about people in the future are going to think we were ruled by cats and things like that. But so I added to the cat the list of cats on the internet, and it got a lot of attention. But I think people felt better about Ocean City for the story that I wrote, or for a couple. I've done a couple stories, and they've I mean, some are not great and some are okay. But some are good, and they all make you remember why you like to go to Ocean City or to drink craft beer, hopefully.
Or drinking craft beer in Ocean City.
In a perfect world. But we're gonna call it a day. We're gonna call it a night. I think we ran about 45 this time, which is gonna be in our wheelhouse. So strap in. We may go an hour occasionally. We may go 45 minutes occasionally. We're not sticking hard to half an hour anymore, but we're sticking hard to an hour. So when you feel like looking at your watch, if you're coming out in an hour, we're almost done.
I can only handle it for that long.
So last but not least, quick plug for me tonight. If you happen to watch this in the next 20 minutes, I'm going to Buxy's.
Buxy's?
I'm going to Buxy's Salty Dog this afternoon for happy hour pictures. Happy hour pictures with Tony is going to be another thing that I'm going to start doing.
Happy hour pictures.
I just made that up now.
I love it.
But I'm going to go people in bars drinking, having a good time. I'm going to go take some pictures of people and do like a happy hour review. I'd never been in Buxy's before, and I'll tell you what, that seems like my kind of place.
Have the Tiny Heiny.
I'm probably not going.
Or the Permani, it's a big Pittsburgh place.
There were flags.
Yes.
The flags were kind of a giveaway. Is the Tiny Heiny a Heineken beer?
I don't know. I don't know what that is, actually.
I'm just going to go in and take pictures of people. But it's dark and low ceilings. Or it was dark and had low ceilings last time I was there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you can see in there. It's a dark bar. No, they have Guinness on tap.
That was very cool.
I DJ'd there once or twice.
Yeah. Now, is that part of the beer muted triangle? Are those the three?
Yeah.
That's what I was... It was when I was walking around and I just wanted to share the whole experience with you, and I'm like, I don't know what my phone's connected to. And I'm also tired and want to go home. But I took some pictures of me in front of Buxy's, in front of the Pit and Pub, and I almost even went to Mother's Cantina, from where we've broadcasted before.
Oh, that's true.
But I was tired and I wanted to go home.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. But I will be there tonight, probably about 4:30-ish. I'll be in taking pictures. If you see me, say hello. And I can put your pictures on the internet, and then you can be internet famous. And if you're holding a cat, God bless us all. But may Todd give you the sense to live in a small town.
We'll see you next week at Happy Hour.
Cheers. Happy hour. The Nooner edition.